Hi guys. So it is Pride Month. And because it's Pride Month, I want to talk about me. Because I'm a raging narcissist and that's what I like to do. I like to talk about myself and get attention and what have you. So I am asexual. I'm also bi, meaning that my options are right there and not there at the same time. Imagine being bi and asexual at the same time. You're thinking romantically I could be with a man, romantically I could be with a woman, but we're not going to go any further than that, sunshine. It's not happening. Aziraphale and Crowley as characters, I didn't mind whether they were asexual or not. Like if they wanted to do something with that later, like who cares? I wasn't really that interested in like asexual characters in media because at the end of the day, I know we're misrepresented, but at the end of the day, characters are characters and authors can do what they want with them. I say this for every character in the world. So I'm going to go into the story of how I realized I was both bi and ace. It's been a difficult journey. It's been one of struggle and internalized this and that, and just things that I'm gonna get into here. If you care to hear the story, if you don't, obviously feel free to click off. Like, this is just a Pride Month thing. This isn't something I would do for my everyday. This is just, I'm bi and I'm ace and I want to talk about it. So, I didn't realize I was ace until like much, much, much later in life. But I realized I was bi at 14 years old. I don't think it was like there was never a moment, there was never like a light switch, light bulb moment in my head. It was a bunch of gradual things. Like when I was a kid, I don't even tell people this, but I was incredibly homophobic. Like I used to say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with gay people," but then behind doors, I would be like, "Yeah, no, gross, gross, ew, no," because I was an immature little child and I didn't know any better. Of course, being a child is not an excuse for being homophobic. I was not raised to be homophobic. I was not brought up to be homophobic. My family are the most accepting people you can find. They did not know I was homophobic. And meanwhile, they were allies and they were supportive and they did not know that their child was homophobic. That's a whole other thing that I tried to talk to them about. Some of my family members, and they were like, "No, you were never homophobic." I'm like, "Yes, I was. Yes, I fucking was. I was a homophobe. And I'm not proud of it, but yeah, I was a homophobe. So because I was a homophobe, I didn't even consider the fact that I could be interested in women. I had my first boyfriend at 13, my first love at a later point at 13, and then around a year after that, I saw Princess Bubblegum and Marceline kiss on Adventure Time. I wasn't even into Adventure Time. This clip was just trending everywhere. At which point I was like, isn't Princess Bubblegum with Finn? Which would be really sketchy if you think about it. So then seeing them kiss on a screen sort of mellowed my homophobia a bit. This was the first LGBT rep I'd seen in a cartoon. Seen in anything, really. I didn't watch a lot of LGBT TV growing up because I was homophobic. That, and when I was growing up, LGBT characters weren't allowed on kids' TV anyway. So, how was I supposed to, be watching it and stuff? How was I supposed to tune into something that didn't exist? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't watch The Legend of Korra when it came out. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't watch Avatar. I watched She-Ra when it came out, but that was different. When I got into She-Ra, I was gay as hell. And I had accepted that I was gay as hell. But yeah, I saw Princess Bubblegum and Marceline kiss, and I was like, okay, this is actually normal. This isn't bad. And then I thought to myself, maybe I could kiss a girl. And then I thought, nah. Okay, there's a difference now, love, between being an ally and being one of them. Right? There's nothing wrong with being one of them. This was the place I got to in my head. There's nothing wrong with being one of them, but you're not, so don't even go there in your head. Like, your first love is literally a dude, and you've loved him forever, so, yeah. I said to myself, don't even go there in your head, because you can't just go from being a homophobe to being gay all of a sudden. And then I found out that bisexuality existed. And I took a couple tests. And I hyperfixated on it for a while. And then I came out to my parents in a really blubbery, crying kind of way. And of course they said to me, they like to put it like this: I don't care if the person you love is purple with green dots as long as you're happy. That's the way they put it, and I'll never forget that sentiment because it's a sentiment that future generations should carry. It's a sentiment of, we're not homophobic, we don't care, and you shouldn't either. My mom, from what I remember, was a bit concerned, only because I was already dealing with enough ostracization in my personal life from having a learning disability, which we later found out to be autism, after the fact, to being physically disabled and just not fitting in with my peers. Being gay or bi was gonna be like another thing added to that list of like growing things that were gonna cast me out from society. So, as much as my mum supported me, she was quite worried, and she kind of, for a little bit, was like, are you really though? Can we think about this for a minute? Because I don't want you to suffer more than you already are. I don't want you to have another difference piled onto you. It wasn't a homophobic thing at all. It was more of a, I just want you to live as best a life as possible, and I feel like you being bi is going to keep you from living that happy life, because people in school are mean. The public are mean. People are horrible. And I don't want you to face more ostracization than you already are. Which is a perfectly understandable argument. It doesn't come from a homophobic place, it just comes from a place of love. She didn't want me to be worse off than I already was, which was fine. But yeah, we talked about it, and I had a crush, or what I think was a crush, on my best friend at the time, straight best friend. I think we've all been there. And, in the end, it was just what it was. And I was bi, and we were okay with it as a family. That year, actually, that first Pride Month, because I came out in, I think, September, and then we had the Pride Month, and I was 15 at this point. And my mum and dad, or my mum, should I say, baked me a rainbow cake, which I will never forget because it was delectable. And also, it was really nice of her to do that. And they threw me like a pride party, where only family were coming along, and my auntie and uncle came along, and my cousins. I think my cousins did. Did they? I don't actually know, because they were really young at the time. And it was at that point that I had developed my first real crush. Like, when I say I had a crush on my straight best friend, I more mean I was kind of thinking, ooh, girl, I'm gay now, so, like, let's go. Let's have a crush on a girl. But it wasn't real, shall I say? It was more of a friend thing, and being overwhelmed by how much love I had for this friend and things like that. My first actual girl crush was an online friend of mine. And she, to this day, is the only girl that I have ever crushed on. But that is not because I'm not bi, that is because I find it very, very hard to fall in love with people. It was the same with guys. I never liked guys either. I used to trick myself into thinking I liked guys. I didn't. And I'm not saying I never liked guys. Like I said, my first love was literally a dude. But I also didn't like girls in the same way. So I was thinking, like, what's wrong with me? Nothing. You're just very picky. And you fall in love when you least expect it. And I think that goes for everybody. Me and this person, we dated for, I think, like 12 days in total. We dated for 2 days in the summer and then 10 days in the winter. Like, we broke up and we got back together, so that's like 12 days in total. When I tell you, I'm not gonna out who this person is at all to protect their privacy. But when I tell you, this was the worst breakup I ever had. I'd had 3 breakups at this point in my lifetime, and this was the one that actually hit me. Like, it actually hit me like, oh my god, this is over. I thought I loved this person. I thought I loved this girl. I thought I was in love with her. I thought I was gonna marry this girl. Because I was 15. And I didn't know any better. Like, I actually at 15 thought, oh, we're gonna get married. It's gonna be great. Ugh. I want to give 15-year-old me a slap in the face. You're 15! You don't even know what love is. Anyway, I eventually got over that. It's sort of like, getting over someone, it's sort of like, it gradually happens. You don't just wake up one day and decide you're over them. It gradually happens. And it gradually happened for me. Since then, since being 15, 16, 17, I've never liked anyone else. And that's okay. Because despite being bi, I want to fall in love naturally and not force it, you know? But now I want to talk about, if it's okay with y'all, the asexual part. I'm not going to go into any not allowed details on YouTube. I'm just going to explain my journey and how I realized that I was ace. I guess the only YouTube friendly way I could say it was that I knew from when I started, going to secondary school and things, I knew that I didn't want to be doing the things that my classmates were doing. And I thought at first I was just a late bloomer, but then I became an adult and I still didn't want to do those things. And I didn't really want to kiss people either. I didn't want to do any of that. I never thought about kissing or making out or anything like that. And I just thought that was the tism. I thought, because I'd been diagnosed with autism at this point, I thought it was the tism. I thought, I thought I was just being held back. No, I just genuinely find the whole idea of the next step, shall we say, absolutely repulsive. And that's okay. I just want everyone to know, if you're listening to this and you're ace, it's okay to be ace. It's okay to be bi and ace. It's okay to be gay and ace. It's okay to be straight and ace. It's okay to not want anything romantic whatsoever. That's called aromantic. That's fine. Be who you are. But anyway, when I first told my parents that I was ace, they didn't quite believe me because I was a teenager. I mean, that's fair enough. You don't know what you want when you're a teenager, so I could have grown up and had some of those desires, but I just didn't. Then I came out to them again in my 20s, and now they're supporting me. Not that they didn't support me at the time, but now they believe me, And it's fine. I'm happy being ace. Like, I don't view it as something that gets in the way. I would rather be true to who I am rather than force myself to do things or to be interested in things that I don't want to do. I would rather be true to myself than do that. So I'm happy with the way that I am. Bi and ace, it's sort of contradictory in a way. Like, you like everyone, but you also don't want to do certain things with anyone. You like everyone romantically, just not any further than that. But yeah, being bi and ace is difficult sometimes, but I wouldn't change it because, first of all, I am who I am, and then second of all, like I said, it's easier to be ace. It's easier to just be who you are rather than pretend you're something you're not, So that's my stance on it. And that's who I am. And I'm proud of it. My goal in life is to find a partner who's also ace and doesn't want those things and is on the same kind of wavelength as me. I don't think I could ever date anyone who wasn't ace because I feel like that would just be a disaster. But I am ace. And I'm proud to be it. And I'm proud to be bi, and you should be too. Guys, if you're ever in a situation where you don't feel comfortable with your identity or who you are, just hear this from me. You were born the way that you were born. And no one can take that away from you or make you feel like you don't belong because of any differences that you might possess. I'm the queen of difference. I'm autistic. I have cerebral palsy, which is a physical disability. I'm so weird. And I'm just me, and I'm very, very different from other people. And I've learned to come to terms with that and accept that and kind of accept that it's okay to be different. So I want you all to know from the bottom of my heart, it's good to be different. Because if we were all the same, life would be pretty fucking boring. At the end of the day, be you. Unapologetically, be you. That's all anyone in the world can ask of you. And, personally, if anyone else says otherwise, like America's fucked up president, they can go fuck themselves. It's in times like these where I'm glad I don't live in America or the States in general. But I'm also sitting here like, I feel so bad for you guys because I've checked my stats. I know most of you are watching from America, right? I feel so bad for you guys. And I hope that things get better for you. And I wish there was something that we could do to fix it. If you're bi and ace like me, be proud of yourself. If you're not like me, be proud of yourself also. Whoever you are, whoever you want to be, if you're gay, if you're bi, if you're ace, if you're trans, if you're non-binary, if you're something else, be who you want to be. That's all the world can ask of you. Stay safe.